Hey, look what we have found. A big sound in a small town. Far away from the bright lights. They're making music every night. Discover what is all around. A big sound. A big sound. In a small town. Big sound, small town. A really big sound. Big sound, small town.
You're listening to Big Sound, Small Town with Sandy Carlton.
Hi, welcome to Season 4 of Big Sound, Small Town. I'm your host, Sandy Carlton. Join me as musicians tell their stories about how they became musicians and the stories along the way.
Several years ago, I was camping with some friends, and a buddy of mine had a liquor sickle, which is a scooter. In North Carolina, we call them liquor sickles because when you get the UI and lose your driver's license, you can still drive one of these little scooters.
Right.
And my cousin had like a Trail 50, Trail 70, some little bitty Honda thing. I rode it when I was a kid, occasionally, and I didn't die. So I figured I knew how to ride a motorcycle. I could do this.
Yeah.
And I said, let me borrow that thing. Let me ride that thing. He was like, no, man, I don't know. I'm like, I'm not going to hurt myself. I'm just going. He said, all right. So I get on this little liquor sickle and I go through this campground. He's telling the people that are with us, he says, this ain't going to be good. He looks like a bear on a bicycle you see at the circus.
Yeah.
And a few minutes later, I'm laying in the road with a broken arm, busted up glasses. I come out of deep gravel trying to, turn right on a paved road, and the tail end went out underneath me. So that was how this song started, and then it's actually about my job. Last night I dreamed of the circus with jugglers, acrobats, and freaks, lions and the tigers and the zebras, monkeys, the elephants, and me. I'm a bear riding a unicycle, wobbling around the ring. I'm old and I'm fat, I wear a dumb little hat, just trying to do my thing. I was a Kodiak in Alaska, mighty and fearsome and big. It got too cold and I got too old, so I came south and picked up this gig. I'm a bear riding a unicycle, wobbling around the ring. I'm old and I'm fat, I wear a dumb little hat, just trying to do my thing. Flying trapeze, that looks like a whole lot of fun. I ain't scared of heights, so I tried it one night, but a bear ain't got no thumbs. I'm a bear riding a unicycle, and I'm wobbling around the ring. I'm old and I'm fat, I wear a dumb little hat, just trying to do my thing. See the man top hat. Somebody thinks he is my boss. He better take care, 'cause I'm still a bear. I might slap his head clean off. I'm a bear riding a unicycle. I'm wobbling around the ring. I'm old and I'm fat. I wear a dumb little hat, just trying to do my thing. Can't you hear the calliope playing? Don't it make you want to jump up and dance? Throw your paws in the air, shake your derriere, and a bear don't have to wear pants. I'm a bear riding a unicycle. I'm wobbling around the ring. I'm old and I'm fat. I wear a dumb little hat, just trying to do my thing. I'm a bear riding a unicycle, and I'm wobbling around the ring. I'm here to get paid, maybe get laid, just trying to do my thing. I'm just trying to do my thing. Hi there, it's Jeff Wall from Winston-Salem, North Carolina. At least that's where I'm living at now. Once I joined the Witless Protection Program. And I play out all over the state of North Carolina and occasionally into South Carolina and Georgia. And I'd like to come to wherever you are and play for you. In your living room, in your den of iniquity, or your backyard of iniquity, or your basement of iniquity. I don't care. I'll play anywhere. As long as people are willing to throw money at me. I'll play naked, I'll play with clothes on, I don't care. I'm just a whore with a guitar is what I am.
There you go.
And thank y'all for allowing me to be here today.
That's a pretty interesting introduction.
What to say, you know? You tell people who you are. I'm an asshole, you know?
Yeah. Well, yeah, that would cover a lot of people,
Yeah,
you know?
you know, I try not to be a malicious one. But, you know.
You try not to be a dick.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's yeah, that's it. It's like I'm calling an asshole sometimes because I'm brutally honest, but I don't know any other way to be. You know, either I'm not going to lie to you, even if it's about sex or money. But you know, if I was going to lie, it'd be about one of those.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't have either. I don't get either one of those, so it doesn't really matter. I ain't got no reason to lie.
All right, now we've established, I think, here that you're a singer-songwriter.
I am one of those.
Now,
I grew up 30 miles east of Nashville in a little town called Lebanon. And then when I was 10, we moved into Hermitage, into Nashville itself. And I went to school with these people whose daddies were session musicians.
oh yeah, I'm sure.
Howard Wilson's kids,
Yeah.
or running buddies, Jimmy Colvert's kids, Wayne Moss, you know, all these great session players.
And that's early studio history right there.
You know, all those guys were people that I grew up around. And I was a big music freak, but I didn't play music. But, you know, I wanted to be a rock and roll star, but I didn't know how. The thing that made me want to become a musician was seeing Marshall Tucker Band for the first time. They had this chick singer opening up for them named Emmylou Harris. I don't know if whatever happened to her.
Yeah, I don't think much. I think she fell right away somewhere.
Well, but Tommy Caldwell was the bass player, and he just looked like he was having so much fun, and I wanted to be like Tommy. That was what I wanted to do. So that was always in the back of my head. But I took about 4 or 5 guitar lessons when I was 11. My daddy bought a guitar coming across the border from Tijuana, you know, and a cigar box guitar would have been a step up.
No.
I mean, it was one of those things.
Nylon strings.
Oh no, this one had steel strings, finger cutters, You know, they're just taking the barbs off the wire and stringing it
Sure,
up.
got you.
And I took a half dozen lessons, learned a few chords, and put it down, and that was it. Then in 1982, I'm in the Navy. I had to join the Navy and leave Middle Tennessee to find somebody to date that I wasn't kin to. And I was in the Navy. I was off a trip to Beirut. I read everything on the ship, you know, that didn't have pictures in it, and I was bored. And some shipmates had guitars there, and I grabbed one of them up, and they had a songbook that had the picture chords in them, and I started playing it. Next thing you know, my life went to hell, and I owned a guitar. And, you know, and it's led me places that I tell my children not to go. Don't do this. Don't go there. That woman just wants to.
So did you start writing songs as soon as you learned how to play?
I became a songwriter at the age of 55.
Really?
Yeah, you know, before I'd been a freelance writer, you know, and I'd written for magazines. Magazines, those things, you know, we probably ought to explain this to your audience. You know, back before the internet, before cell phones, magazines were these things that people took into the bathroom to read when they were taking a dump.
They did.
You know, they didn't have games to play. There were magazines. And so when cell phones came out and then people started using those, the magazine industry went down the crapper and everybody started folding up, and I was out of work.
Right.
And I'd always played around campfires and picked up cover bands and stuff like that, or doing solo stuff in Biker Bar, me and one other guy or something. But at 55, there was a guy, Steve Wineski, who owns this company called Wish Bass. He makes musical instruments. Look it up, Wish Bass. And he had this thing called the Winston-Salem Shuffle. And what it was is every month he'd have this thing, you get together and everybody get up on stage one at a time, and you'd do your thing. And it had to be something original. Right. You could do a belly dance, you could do a poem, you could do an interpretive dance, or a song. Right. Most people were songs, but it had to be original. So I wrote my first song, which was I think it was Erectile Dysfunction Blues, song everybody can relate to, or if not yet, it will happen. And the response was real well. And so every month you'd do this, and then I'd write another song. And before I know it, I had enough for a CD.
Ah.
And I decided that I was having fun again, playing music. And
right.
I'd go through periods where I'd play a bunch of cover bands, and I'd get tired of it, or something would happen. My partner died on me, you know, and you'd think he would at least give me a 2-week notice before he died or something.
Right, you'd think.
You know, I had gigs booked, but and so I quit playing for a while after that, and concentrated on writing, and I'd bounce back from one to the other, and it's the same thing. It's creative, but I never thought in meter and rhyme. That's not one of my things.
Being a writer first, right?
Right. And so, you know, it's like the old Tom T. Hall joke. I love all of his songs and both his melodies. You know?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
You know, and that's the way I am. I come up with lyrics before I come up. Then I got to find a melody to go with them. So most all of my melodies are 3 chords, you know, and it's old Harlan and Howard thing. All you need is 3 chords and the truth.
Yep.
And so I started writing songs, and I'd go out and I'd play these songs, and the response was really good. You know, I wrote that song, Love Everybody, Don't Be a Dick.
Yeah.
Erectile Dysfunction Blues, Battery Operated Boyfriend. And it's all stuff that people can relate to. You know, I tell people that my audience sits right between AARP and Medicare. You know, and it's like, and I'll tell people, you know, what's it little girl's name that's so, I can't remember her name right now. Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
She's found her audience. Her audience is little high school girls who are heartbroken because the football player they have a crush on is dating the cheerleader because she has bigger tits.
Yeah.
You know, and so she writes songs for those girls, and they love her, and they give her all their lunch money.
Yeah.
And she's gotten rich off of it.
Right.
And like the Indigo Girls found their audience. Their audience is angry women that wear Birkenstocks and flannel shirts.
True.
And they've provided them with a good living, you know. And so, you know, I was trying to learn how to be a songwriter, so I called some friends in Nashville where I grew up, and I said, how do I be a songwriter? They said, buy this book by Tom T. Hall called The Songwriter's Handbook, and it'll teach you everything you need to know. And Tom T. said, you know, find your audience. And so I was playing a gig, and I smelled it. I tell this story that I smelled a peculiar odor, kind of a mix between Potty Grip and Bengay. And I knew I'd found my crowd.
Mothballs.
You know, I knew I'd found my crowd, you know, my people. And I have people tell me, you know, thanks for letting us laugh at ourselves, you know, because I don't try to be a novelty songwriter, but half my songs are either really dark stuff, you know, about stepping off a ledge, or they're humorous.
Yeah.
And there's a real fine, you know, there's a real fine line between comedy and tragedy.
There is.
You know, we laugh to keep from crying.
True.
And
some tragic things are awfully funny.
Oh yeah, you know, I was in the military. I was in the Navy for 20 years, and I got a really dark sense of humor. It's a dark sense of humor, and I get in trouble for it a lot of times. But it's the only way I know how to, you know, to deal with stuff. And I don't know if you can tell this or not yet, ladies and gentlemen, but I got ADD really bad. So let me apologize if I end up all over the place.
Actually, you kept it in the road pretty good. Musicians all tend to make a tangent. You know, I mean, it's kind of they're basic wanderers anyway. So so it works well. You're holding it in the road.
I tell people I became a singer-songwriter because I got tired of making all that big bluegrass money.
Yeah, that bluegrass money. Only people that make more is the old time string band guys.
Oh, yeah. You know, that's where I'm headed to next. You know, Americana and old time string band.
There you go. So I mean,
Americana's starting to make money now.
Yeah, it is making money now. If your name's Jason Isbell.
You know, I knew Jason when he was a little fat kid, starting off with the Truckers.
Yeah.
I opened up for the Drive-By Truckers. First time I ever saw him was in 98. And my wife was pregnant with my daughter, 6 months pregnant, and I thought they sucked because they were sloppy.
Yeah.
I come from a bluegrass background, and slop is just wrong. And Patterson Hood, after the show, and my wife was not happy because the kid was not happy. The kid was kicking.
No.
My wife is into things like Maroon 5 and the Bee Gees.
Yeah.
Stuff that I'm not into. I'm into singing through your nose. You know.
Yeah, the Truckers are probably a stretch.
And well, at the time, the Truckers were an alt-country band.
Yeah,
they
were
more country.
Yeah.
And Patterson walked up to my wife and just stuck his head right in the lion's mouth and introduced himself, and he charmed her.
Oh yeah, he's a charming guy.
You know, and I thought he was going to die, and we've been friends ever since. And I don't know how I got talking about the Truckers, but buy their new record.
You can talk about Truckers. That's one of my favorites.
They're great guys. Oh, we're talking about Jason.
Yeah, Jason works too.
So I met Jason when he was just a little short, fat kid, and he just started playing with the Truckers, and they played an acoustic show at Pine Hill Farm in over near Durham somewhere. I think it was the second one they did, and they didn't have acoustic guitars, so I lent them. Jason had one, but Patterson had one, but Jason didn't have one, and Cooley didn't have one, so I lent him guitars. Cooley broke 4 strings on acoustic guitar. I don't know how you do that, but he did that. That used to be how it was. You know, you'd call them on the phone or something, or they call you and they'd say, "We're coming in town. We need 2 packs of extra slinkies and a guitar strap." You know.
Yeah, it
was a small thing, and they've gotten huge.
But all 3 of them, Truckers. You know, Jason. You know, I guess you can put the Dimmer twins in there if you do Cooley and Patterson. So, you know,
last time I saw Jason, he was drunk at the Mercy Lounge. He was hammered, and we'd run across each other, and we talked for a little bit. And I told him Southeastern hadn't come out yet. I said I just saw Patterson last month, and we were talking about you. And he gets this big smile on his face. You know, it hadn't been that long since he'd been kicked out of the band.
Right.
And he says, fucking Patterson. And, with a smile on his face. I said, Patterson says you can be huge. You just need that one album. And when you get that one album, it's going to break your...
It did. I mean...
And lo and behold, it did. And I sent him a few texts, which he hadn't responded to. I finally deleted his number out of my phone because I kind of realized that he's reached a level where... we know each other.
Right.
But I can't say we're really friends. And he's got enough people from wanting a piece of time. And when you get on a certain level, and not even a really high level, everybody wants a little piece of your time.
True,
that's
they
the
do.
most valuable thing you got.
Yeah, it is.
You can only give out so much.
Mm-hmm.
I figured it out a long time ago. Watching music and playing music is the same thing. What we're all looking to do is to make that connection.
Yeah, that's
We're all
true.
seeking a connection. We want to matter to somebody, and the music is a connection either to the songwriter and the band, or between the people and the musician. This COVID stuff's killed me because it.
Well, that's a disconnect.
Well, I can't. I've done a couple of live streams,
Sure.
but I'm not good at it because there's no energy coming back from a crowd. There's no
No.
crowd.
No,
I
you're
can't hear any laughter. I can't
Right.
make anybody laugh. I can't see any looks of horror on people's face when I start talking about things I shouldn't talk about.
right.
And I really miss that.
Sure. I mean, that has been a total disconnect, really. COVID is not just musically, but in every way, it's kind of disconnected society.
And
It's not as much interaction.
and then I run into people that think it's all a government plot. I'm like, I know too many people that are dead for it to be a government plot.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is real. And I think if you'd wear a mask, you might help it go away.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
and it doesn't matter who you voted for. We're talking about your health here. We're not, and the health of people you care about. We're not talking about who gets elected in
True.
office because they're all going to screw us anyway.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and for it to be a government plot, it's a government plot in every country in the world.
Well, the thing is, like I said earlier, I was in the Navy for 20 years. The government is not organized enough to carry out a plot this size.
Amen. Yeah, I
There's too
agree.
much bureaucracy. Somebody would let something leak.
Yep, you're right.
You're giving it way too much credit. It's like,
Somewhere along the line, comedy come natural to you? Is that something that?
I grew up in an alcoholic household.
Well,
And my dad and all my mama's people is a history of addiction, mental, chemical, sexual,
Yeah.
physical abuse as far back as we can see. My mom and dad got divorced. My mom remarried my stepdad, who was a chronic alcoholic and a binge drinker. And so I got some issues from that. And then I ended up having some substance abuse issues in myself. And I got clean back in 1984.
it's a long time. That's good. I'm
I
happy.
ain't eat okra longer than that. No,
Well.
one way come up and say congratulations for not eating okra. I'm just doing what I have to do to try to stay alive. But the thing is I used to be really insecure. Not that I'm not now. And I figured out that if I could make you laugh with me instead of laughing at me. And,
Oh, humor's the greatest stuff in the world. I mean,
and so it was like that. And humor helped me to. I see a humor side in everything, and it's the only way I'm able to process tragedy and grief,
right.
and to process any kind of negative things, any negative feelings, is humor. And so I will laugh at the most inappropriate times. It's
Yeah, I do actually understand that.
Instead, like
Yeah.
I'm gonna crack a joke.
Yeah.
It's like I heard.
It's a coping mechanism.
It's like I heard that when they cremated Meatloaf, they put him in Tupperware.
Right.
Because it's like it's a sick joke. It's like, but it's the kind of thing that they wrap him up saran wrap. You're making a joke about the Meatloaf name, but it's just a coping mechanism, is what it is. I don't think anybody tries it. I don't know. I tried stand up once. I get up and Reverend Billy C. Wirtz is a friend.
Yeah, I know Billy.
And we've been talking about trying to put a tour together. I tried to date his ex-wife, before they were married, and she didn't want nothing to do with me. We were just kind of friends. She ended up going out with my brother, and so I thank Jesus for helping me dodge that bullet. Because then she ended up with Billy and ruined his life. And I, you know, my penis has taken me some horrible places I wouldn't go with a gun, but Jesus was watching out for me that day. Thank you. I don't forget what I'm a big fan of Tim Wilson, Gary Mulder, Rodney Carrington, all those guys that incorporated music into comedy.
Yeah, they did.
Ray Stevens.
Yeah.
And so I tried some comedy open mics. Comedians are the only people I've met that are more screwed up than musicians.
Oh, they are. Comedians? Oh, yeah. Yes, they are.
Musicians are some screwed up people. No, comedians are much more screwed up.
Yeah, comedians are.
And the thing is I could sit there and I could wait at an open mic for 3 hours to do 10 minutes.
Right.
Or I could just go book a gig.
Yeah.
And I could do 2 hours worth of material.
Right.
And get paid for it.
Get paid, not do the stand-up stuff.
You know,
Yeah.
You know, the people that are doing stand-up, they work really hard to get 15 minutes.
They do.
And the thing is I just do it from the stage.
Actually, comedy is basically a 15 minutes of fame. I mean, particularly stand-up.
Yeah.
I mean, even when it's a very rare comedian that gets longer than 15 minutes, really.
Right. Dave Chappelle's doing 60-minute shows.
Sure.
And that's an hour. And most of that, if you watch it, that's not all jokes.
True.
There's a whole lot of discussion going on.
Yeah.
And things like that.
Yeah.
And so Tom T. Hall said to start writing songs to nursery rhymes. He said, and they'll get you used to doing it. And most every songwriter I've ever known, when they start writing songs, the first ones they write are funny songs.
Funny songs are easier to write for some reason.
And so I wrote. Well, here's one I wrote real quick.
Yeah.
It's my Easter song.
Okay.
Here comes Peter Cottontail, got him a hammer and some nails. Look out, Jesus, Easter's on its way. That song almost got me fired because I was walking around singing it all day. But, you know, I was trying to figure out, what does the Easter Bunny got to do with Jesus? You know, and that song popped in my head. It's like humor helps me to deal with things. It helps to answer the unanswerable questions. It helps me to process things that normally. I laugh so I don't have to cry. If I didn't laugh, I'd be curled up.
Sure. I understand that. Now let me ask you: are you already working on material for a next record?
No, but I was thinking about it on the way here.
Yeah, that's kind of way.
I just released this record.
Yeah, let's talk about that while we got it. Where can somebody get a copy of this at?
Or you can get it. It's on. It should be wherever you buy music. I don't know where people buy music at anymore. I'm 60. I don't know. You know.
It's on like Spotify.
Yeah,
it's on like
Spotify, Apple Music.
Apple Music.
Stuff,
Yeah.
Know.
That's.
I got lost when 8-track tapes.
Yeah, I understand. But
it's on all those places.
Right.
It's on my Bandcamp site.
Sure.
But I did a Kickstarter thing. I play music normally by myself. I'm a solo act.
Right.
Kind of like my sex life. It's just disappointing to lots of people. And my last record, I'd just gone in, and it was basically a demo session, me and a guitar.
Right.
And because that's the way I usually do it. The one before that, I played on a radio station, WHUP, in Hillsborough, North Carolina. They have a program every Friday called Pass the Hat, where they invite local songwriters to come in. And I did that, and it sounded so. And I took a thumb drive, and I said, "Download a copy of this so I can hear."
Right. Yeah.
It was just so I could critique myself. It sounded so good. I just stripped out all the patter that didn't need to be there. Like playing tonight at the Shed is, nobody cares about that.
Yeah.
And I left all the important stuff.
Yeah.
On it and turned it into a CD.
Right.
And so this time I wanted to do something with a band. So I went to a guy, Tom Troyer in Greensboro, And the problem I had with recording is we don't speak the same language. He's more of a Rush. He's more of a modern rock kind of guy.
Right.
And I come from a bluegrass world. It's a completely different thing. So we had trouble doing some communication. But some days I'm really happy with the record. Some days I absolutely hate it. Some days all I hear is the slop, my sloppy playing, my sloppy singing, some timing issues. But I've had a lot of people who don't owe me money tell me that it's a good record.
Yeah. I mean, when you sent it to me, I was impressed. I will tell you.
Well, thank you, because
I don't get impressed.
You know, growing up in Nashville, your standards get really high.
Yeah, they do.
You know, when you know people that.
Yeah.
No, we were talking before we started. We were talking about the most talented musician Nashville's ever produced was Charlie McCoy.
Sure.
Who could play any instrument.
He could.
And he could play anything. And you hear the Pig Robbins is another.
Yeah.
Hear the song one time, lay it down.
Sure.
Done. Let's move to the next one.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm used to. And so it's a difficult thing. Every recording project of any type with anyone that I've ever been on, I still have every one of them at my house in the cellophane. Once it's done, I can't stand to listen to anything I did. I'm just weird that way. It just bothers me because I hear stuff and I think I could, like it'll come on the radio and I'm like, God, I could have done that a lot better. Or why did I do that, you know? I got a friend, Abigail Dodd, who just appeared on a radio show up north somewhere. And they used one of my songs in that thing. And all I can hear on it is it was a parlor size guitar. And I'm like, man, I wish I'd been able to.
Sure.
I wish I'd had my D18 on that so it would sound so much fuller, louder.
Yeah.
And it's I'll never be happy.
Yeah, I mean, that's the reason I don't listen to the stuff I do. It makes me think, why am I even doing this, you know?
Right.
You know, well, it's kind of attitude adjustment, too. I went to Kerrville Songwriters Festival in Kerrville, Texas.
I've been wanting to do that, but I hadn't.
It'll humble you as a songwriter.
Well, I don't need to be. I grew up in Nashville. I don't need to be humble as a songwriter.
Well, I thought
tell people the reason I'm not a national musician or songwriter is because I'm not that good of a carpenter, and I'm not that good at waiting tables. You know.
True. Yeah, I understand.
So I had to find something else to, you know.
Yeah.
I really did. We had moved out to Bellevue.
Yeah.
And then at Brentwood, back when Brentwood, all it was there was a flashing yellow light.
Right.
And old Jimmy Dickens. And the Williamson County Sheriff Department was encouraging me to leave Williamson County.
I understand.
Something to do with, substances that I shouldn't be talking about. But everybody I'd gone to high school with was dead and married or in prison. I didn't see a lot of differences in that in 18, so I had to go do something different. And I don't remember what the point of the story was.
The reason you're not a songwriter in Nashville.
But
yeah, I do.
You know the standards.
Sure.
I mean, you were talking about the people you knew when you lived there, the people who lived next.
Right.
You know, when your next door neighbor is writing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I agree.
Doing it super simple. You know, the guy at the bar who's drunk.
Sure.
You know, who's written.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Who doesn't write hit songs? He writes standards.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, it makes all the difference in the world. What else we need?
I haven't done that. I used to love going to bluegrass festivals and playing around campfires. Yeah. And I realized I didn't really care anything about seeing the bands on the stage.
Right.
I'd rather pick whether
the interaction. Yeah. Sure.
That's always been the thing for me is interaction with other people.
That's the best part of music, really.
That's it. You know, that's the stage. I'm fearless when I hit a stage.
Well, you know, it's a lot of times I hate to go. I don't really want to go, but once you get there and the music starts, that's what it's kind of all about. Yeah. You know?
Yeah, I have some social anxiety issues, but for some reason when I hit the stage,
yeah,
I'm fearless. I guess it's because I have control or something, because I'm the one with the microphone, or I can dictate.
Sure.
You know, I can kind of steer things. I don't have to
What else we need to know about you, Jeff?
Well, let's see. Big Dumb Hick, the reason I picked that is because I'm 6'7", I weigh 360 pounds. I'm full grown. You know, I wear bib overalls most of the time because it's hard to find tall and fat. You can find fat clothes and tall clothes. It's hard to find them when both tall and fat. And if you look up Jeff Wall on the internet, there's a famous Canadian photographer. And if you look up Jeff Wall music, there's another famous Canadian. I don't know how famous he is, but he's a really fine songwriter out of British Columbia. But if you look up Big Dumb Hick, there's only one of them. You know, and I wanted something that was memorable. And it was like, and I'd use that nickname on a bulletin board back when they had those things called bulletin boards on it.
Right, yeah. Back when people read magazines.
Yeah. Back when people knew how to read.
Back when people could read.
Yeah, that's another one right there. But, you know, I'm trying to book gigs. I'm trying to get a little attention on my album. My new album is called Big Dumb Hick, A Little Bit Weird. That song, A Little Bit Weird, was the first children's song I'd ever written that didn't contain any profanity. And I'd had it for a long time, and I was trying to think of what to do. And I thought that title was too good for me to pass up.
Right.
I need to use it.
Yeah.
So I recut it and did it. But no, I haven't started writing the new record yet. I've probably got enough material that I haven't used. I've got a bunch of songs that are, I'll write a song and I'll think it's the greatest song ever. And then I'll come back to it a month later. I hate the thing.
No, I can never tell. Stuff of mine that people like are ones that I probably would never choose. It's just weird how that works. I'm terrible.
The songs get, you know, somebody told me, I got an email this morning that somebody said that there's a love song I wrote for hardware stores called What We Ain't Got. And it's for Ace Hardware. And I sent them a thing trying to get an endorsement or something. Right. That ain't happening. I've talked to Jack Links, or tried to talk to Jack Links, to get an endorsement, you know, because my size, everybody thinks I'm related to Sasquatch or something. Yeah. I'm like going, hey, I could throw out samples there, you know. I tried to get a hold of Roundhouse about bib overall endorsement. No,
sure.
I can't get any traction at all.
It's hard to do these days, though. It really is hard.
You know, there's too many people writing songs and playing music, and too many really good people writing songs.
There are.
Music. Yeah. There's too many crappy ones that are getting money behind them.
True.
And
that's right. You know, it's snow up your way today. Did you have to come here through snow?
I was out in my my driveway in a pair of Chuck Taylors and a pair of gym shorts, and I had to take one PA out of the car and do some shuffling around, and there's about an inch or two of snow on the ground, and I didn't realize it was 15 degrees till I looked at the thing because I was in a hurry.
Right.
I'm kind of weird about that. There was snow in Winston today, this morning, all the way through to Statesville, and it was clear.
Yeah.
So when I got your text, I was like going, you know, we weren't sure we were going to be able to do this today because of the weather. And I'm like going, the roads are clear here. I mean,
I'm pretty flexible, yeah.
But you can't never tell.
You can't. Well, we had it really bad when everybody else missed it. I mean, we had about 8 inches of snow here earlier in the week.
Oh, wow.
So. But the city did actually a really good job of clearing stuff up, so I can't really complain.
We only got 3 inches, but then it sleeted all day.
Oh, yeah.
So I ended up with 3 inches of ice.
Yeah, that's never good.
I was stuck in the driveway for a few days.
Yeah, that's never good. But
so I got a full-time day job, and I play music on weekends and during the week if it's close enough.
Sure, if it's close,
you know. In 2019, I played 108 shows.
That's a lot of shows.
2020, I played 6.
Yeah. 2021, you probably didn't play.
I haven't done the taxes yet. You know, I keep track of mileage, how many shows, and how much money I make. You know, and how much money I give away.
Sure.
And I haven't done it this year because I'm scared to.
Not a lot for 2021.
No, you know,
it got busier near the end of the year, but
I was able to make a big write-off in 2019, and then in 2020, I ended up owing money, even though I'm like, how do I owe money and only play 6 gigs? You know, how do I owe money to the Internal Revenue Service? I only played 6 gigs,
right.
But I did.
Oh yeah.
But I don't, I don't know how interesting I am to talk about.
You've been pretty interesting so far. So you've been one of a kind so far.
Oh, that's good and bad. I'm memorable. It's like,
Well, I think that's what you want to be. I mean, that's the whole purpose of it, kind of.
that's the thing. I'm trying to. My goal right now as a musician is to get out of breweries.
Yeah.
It's because I like playing breweries because I like getting paid.
You get paid. You get home early too, because
Yeah.
their time frame is
They cut down
7 to
to
9.
10 o'clock.
Yeah.
I don't have to play 4 hours.
Right.
And then, but the problem with playing breweries is nobody's listening.
No, that's true. They're not. They're there to drink a beer and
know,
hang with their folks.
And, and you're just background noise,
Yeah.
texture, and I'm okay with that as long as you're paying me.
Right.
But I'd really like to get into playing
Listening
house
rooms.
concerts.
Yeah, house concert or listening rooms.
Because that's all we want to do is be heard.
Sure.
I'll play anywhere.
I'll
There's a news resort down the road a little ways. I played there last year because I figured they're open-minded enough for me to be able to get away with whatever. And I didn't realize until after they paid me that I didn't have to play it naked.
Oh, yeah, afterwards, right?
Well, I found out afterwards, but it was all right. Nobody laughed at me. I was waiting for. They laughed with me, but I didn't have anybody point at me. Most of the people there are the average age there is 50 years old.
Yeah.
I didn't see any supermodels.
Yeah. I actually ran a race there one time.
Yeah, at CFR, yeah, at the Buck Creek Street.
Yep.
I don't run.
I got a T-shirt of that. Yeah, I actually went and did that. They're actually nice people down there.
They're very nice people, and it's way out in the woods,
It
away
is.
from everything.
It is.
My wife's not a nudist, but she likes the place because they got a hot tub that goes up to 104 degrees.
Yeah. See, I mean,
That's the
yeah.
thing for me.
yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah.
Well, if everybody's naked, it's not a big deal.
It's not. It's not. And there's every body frame, every size.
Oh yeah, I've
yeah.
seen things.
Yeah,
I've seen
it's
things I
fine.
did not want to see.
Yeah, you do. You can't erase them from your memory, but once they're there, it makes it easier to move on.
And it's like if there's somebody there with a pee bag. I've seen a couple of those.
I didn't see that.
With bladder people
Right, yeah.
who've had bladder cancer or something. And it just like it's just part of life. I've seen the boob implants when you're 70 don't look as good.
Nope.
Tattoos don't
Look as good. I agree.
But it's more, but they're a very accepting crowd.
They are. They are. I agree. I totally agree.
Yeah, and I think everybody should visit a nudist resort at least once.
I do too. I do too.
Just don't tell your wife.
No, or take her with you.
Actually, yeah, it's cheaper if you take her.
Yeah.
Day fees are cheaper if you take somebody with you.
Sure.
But they've been good to me.
Well, I appreciate you driving all this way and taking time to be here today.
I'm grateful that you were willing to let me be.
Well,
on the show.
bottom line is you're a talented songwriter.
Well, thank you.
And a funny
I
guy.
got to pay you for this now? Is that
No. Somebody else will pay me for this. But Jeff, again, thank you for taking time.
Oh, I appreciate it. I really do. I'm honored. I've seen the caliber of people that you have on here. And,
Sometimes I
I'm
get lucky.
honored, and I'm honored that I can include myself on the list.
I'm honored to have you. I always like meeting people.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Hopefully I gave you enough.
Yeah, you did.
Howdy, folks. This is Jeff Wall, also known as the Big Dumb Hick. That's BigDumbHick.com. Don't misspell that. There's a song called Checkout Time, and it actually happened. I had to go to Richmond with my wife, and on the way back we got caught in the last snowstorm of the year and ended up having to get a hotel room. The next morning I'm wandering around trying to find my missing sock. My wife is packing up everything. She's got all 10 suitcases by the door. She only brought 10 because we're only staying out overnight. And I'm still wandering around trying to find my stuff. And she looks at me, she says, "Honey, what time is it?" I said, "Baby, it's about 10:35. And she said, what time's checkout time?" I said, "Checkout time's at 11. She said, "Okay." And she's doing her thing and I'm doing my thing. A few minutes later I hear, "Honey, what time is it?" It's about 10:42. She said, what time's checkout time? I said, it's at 11. Okay. Then a few minutes later, honey, what time is it? I'm like, baby, it doesn't matter what time it is because we're not getting thrown out of a hotel room for checking out late. I've been thrown out of several hotel rooms. I've never been thrown out of one for checking out late. And my wife is one of these people called rule followers. I don't know if you've ever met those people or not. She looks at me like I just suggested we kick a puppy or something. She's like, there's probably somebody waiting to clean this room. And if we're supposed to be out here by 11, we need to be out here by 11. What time is it now? And this song had written itself before I even got out to the car. My boots, where's my keys? Where's that bottle of leaves? Grab my coat and my guitar, run downstairs now to the car. Time is now 10:57, check out time's at 11. We're staying at the Motel 8. There's an extra charge if you check out late. No kids, no pool, no ice, no pets. Just a little room filled with regrets. Here's your key, room 207. Check out times at 11. I played the club just up the street. Had them people on their feet. Party moved down to my room. Daylight came way too soon. Got to bed at 7:30. Check out times at 11. There's an angel laying next to me. Ever seen. Here's the cab, take you back to heaven. Check out time is at 11. Where's my boots? Where's my teeth? Where's that bottle of relief? Grab my hat and my guitar, run downstairs now to the car. Time is now 10:57. Check out times at 11. Time is now 10:57. Check out time.